Hello, my peeps. I'm pretty sure we're live. I'm having some issues today. Shocker, I know. Everything keeps getting signed out. I do the remember my, or remember my login, but for some reason everything keeps getting signed out. And then we're at that point now where I usually change my passwords every year. And I've decided that I can't do it in January anymore because January is just a busy month. So I picked a different month where they will change over so that once a year I change all my passwords. And I have a little book and this whole little process that I do. But when it starts to get close, I start to change things as they come up. Like if I've forgotten something or have trouble logging, I just change it to what the new year one is going to be because we're in that window, right? But now I got to remember which ones did I change and which ones didn't I? Because I try to write them in the book as soon as I change them, but I don't always. And then no matter what I do, the sun is not like I've got the blinds closed and somehow the sun is still getting through. The dog who doesn't normally bark at the kids when they walk home from school decided he would bark today. So now he's locked in the basement. That sounds worse than it is. My son is down there and all the luxuries a dog could want. So it's all good. But let's just see if we can go through a short video today without any more technical stuff. So yesterday was catalogs and magazines. So I showed you a few days ago, I have my little catalog system that's like right beside me, and that's why I can quickly grab catalogs as I need them. I had the drawer behind me that I had a project in it, and I had 3 bins of catalogs on the floor, like the ones I hand out. And I decided yesterday after I did a little video, I thought, you know what, this project's like getting close to over, and I've used half the supplies already. So it's a much smaller pile. So I'm like, nope, I can get that into the project section now. And so I cleaned that out. So my 3 bins of catalogs are no longer on the floor. They are put away, and the bins those are the really good bins. So they'll be repurposed for something else somewhere in the house. So I got all cleaned up. Hopefully you guys had success with your stuff. Again, nobody answered yesterday, but just kind of curious if you've seen it now. Does anybody have every catalog from when they started? I used to, and then at one point I just got rid of them. If you move enough time, you're like, ooh, books and things like that are heavy. So I did get rid of them in one of my moves. But today we are on day 10. And today is one of those things that I still haven't figured out, and I'm hoping that as I do it, I did already start a little bit. Because some of these things are just sort of I've been having aha moments as I've been doing stuff and figuring things out. So I'm hoping for the same, crafting gods to look down on me and say, "Ooh, here's an idea." Today is samples and patterns, and I don't know if samples and patterns quite encapsulates. There we go, the whole thing, but I'll give you an idea. So actually, this is when I first started. I had this little box. It's an old cigar box. And I started, see the tear and tape that's on the front of it? I don't smoke. I didn't want a cigar box, but this is a great, I'm of an age. When you get to a certain age and you'll be like, that's a good box. I'm going to keep that box. Okay, so this is this wooden box. And here's the coolest part though. So I have the stuff underneath it is too high. The box opens like this on a hinge. It's like this. So my thought was, I'm okay with the black sides, but I needed to cover all especially and I know why they do it, but the tobacco warnings are just gross. So I needed to do that. So I started at first, probably one of the first ones I did, we did this wall art that had this big star, and it was just sort of freehand drawn and cut. But sometimes you can freehand and sometimes you can't. So this is the star from the Believe picture, as you can see. And it's this, I love the shape of it, right? So instead of copying cardstock, I cut it onto the cardboard backing one time. So I had a nice thick one. So it was easier to trace around on, and it wouldn't get all bent up. So I started keeping things like that in here. I have this little, I made bottle cards. So this is how big to make the paper. This was how big the thing was, showed the score line, and then you could just make them as long as you wanted. But right, so these were some of the things from the start. Look at that, one of the very early masks. So I started to keep things in here. And then one of the things that I wanted to do was too big to fit in the box. So I got a second cool box. I'll show you in a minute. And started putting things in. But I need a better system because they overflow in the limits. Also, when I opened this today to see how full it was or what was in it, I noticed these are in here. I was looking for these the one day, I thought I had more bags of them than I did, but I couldn't find them. So at some point I must have dropped it and just stuck it in here because it was convenient. So this is one of the reasons you go through things. This does not belong in here. This belongs in the drawer with all the other fasteners. So I'm going to close that one up for now. I'm still going to keep that box. I'm just not sure if that's how the end result is going to be. Where's my paper? Still getting used to my new drawer organization. That's where all the fasteners are. And yes, I did drop it into the tray that they're all in. So then this became the second box. But as you can see over the day, I have, oh, that probably can go in the other one. I have just piled stuff on top of it. Now, every now and again, I will go to grab something out of here and they all go on the floor, right? So I have this. So, and it's various different things. These are pictures of like just card layouts. And even though I don't even know what sets these are, I'm not even sure if these are Stampin' Up. I think they are. They're really old, whatever they are. But it's more just how do you make bits and pieces? These little mini cards. I love them, right? So I have a whole bunch of different pictures. I got some one sheet wonder things in there. This was, again, a template for a wall art along the side of like the baby name wall art that I would do. And I would make a tree along the side. And so instead of having to freehand it every time, I just finally made a template. This is a sample of some camouflage DSP background I made with just stamps and ink and a little blending brush before we have the camouflage background stamp. But I liked it so much. It works so well. So I keep it as like, just in case I want to try to recreate it. So like there's all sorts of things in here. But the problem is, this is, I don't even know where this box came from. I can't remember. So this is where the box, oh, it's good. I found some of these things here. This is where the box started working at first. And so I'll take some of these out and I'll show you in a minute. But now it's starting to overflow. And at first it was everything. Now, see, I have a different place for those. Some of them are things that have been given to me, right? Some of them are other things. So I have a ton of electronic files, and I finally have a system for that because it instantly splits into my projects, other people, right? So if I'm looking for one I made, I don't have to look through everybody else's. And then I have the other people's. One of the biggest keys I have learned to electronics is save it with a good file name. Do not save it with the auto one that goes with it, because some of them are just a bunch of letters and numbers, and you'll have 1,000 of them. Things I've taken pictures of, IMG something, 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 or now I have a pixel, so it's PXL something, something, something. Useless to try to find. You want it searchable. So I like to make things with cute little names, and I like them as small as possible. So when you look at lists of them, they are like the smallest label possible. But that is not helpful when you try to search something. So I am like working on it as I go through things and as I source. And the new rule is you can't save anything unless you change the name of it. So I am now trying to put things in there where it will be like fun fold, triple step. And then if I used a specific stamp set, like all of a sudden my brain just like completely emptied of every stamp set I've ever heard of before. Friendly fins, because that's one sitting I still have to do some die cutting from. Then I'm putting all of those in the label now, so that if I need to search, I can search like one of those keywords will bring something up. But in the meantime, I still have these. So some of them, is that for the, oh, this is, see, and some of them, this is actually in the wrong section too, I realized. I made this great card. I don't even know who the original idea was. Just somebody on the internet, I think. This great card for healthcare workers that looks like I have the die for the t-shirt still. So it looks like scrub shirts. And then there's all the little bits and pieces you need to make it look like they've got a stethoscope around the neck, and then you put a big heart on it and a thank you, right? So I have a bunch of extra pieces from the last time I made those. So those actually belong in the extra pieces section. So this is the thing. Every time I change something, I need to kind of have a little review, decide what it is. So I have come to the conclusion that some of these paper things, I probably could just take a picture or do digital or something. Some of these things are so funny. This was a card I made that was meant to look like a birdhouse, right? And then me and my, thank God I have stamps because I can't draw, drew the picture of the bird and the little thingy and had some like, and I have little like cheat sheets on it. And then it opens like this. Ta-da! So this was my card that I designed. And I did, and you can like decorate it up however you want. So there was another like strips. The strips are easy, right? So some of these cards though are easier to figure by actually having the sample. So I did decide some of the fun folds I'm keeping as fun folds, right? So some of them are going in this box. Now the only problem with this is that, well, I'll clean this. That one's just a piece of paper sticking out. Is that sometimes I get cards like this that are too big to fit this way. So I think I'm gonna, and by the time I'm done, because I know I have like stashes of fun folds that I've kept all over the place, that didn't make it into the box. And then I have some slightly bigger, like these folders and stuff. So I think I might end up having to use one of my double boxes, just so anything that's too big, oh, see, that'll lay on top. Anything that's too big can kind of stretch out. And then I have a spot on the back side of my desk where it just seems to be a drop zone. So I've decided, okay, well, that's a good place for samples because there is lots of room in there. This is another one of those. Like sometimes when I make the card, I write, so this is a nice card, right? But I write, like all the measurements are right on it. But this is one of those cards. You got to see it to remember it. And right. So, and I also have here, P.S. This is not the correct size. Should be 1 7/8 inches wide. That's right. So I didn't remake the sample. I just fixed the mistake on it. And the reason that this is it's not quite wide enough, so it slides crooked. It's much easier if it's right. So I want to keep these. I just need to keep them organized. Because then when you get stuck or you're trying to remember how to make something, you can go find it. This is the cool tree card, right? So I need to go through all of these things. I need to figure out what is in the right spot and make sure that things are where they're supposed to be. See, just by taking the little fancy folds out, there's a few more that have to come out. Oh, I can almost get this box in. So I think I will still have templates because some things are meant to be traced. I can't make that digital. The whole point is to be able to trace a physical thing. And then my fun fold cards. Just need to find somewhere to put this. Now, the other thing I do, if you've watched me, you know that one of the things I really like is treat holders. So I have already done this, and I went through this earlier today. I do it today as well. I started my task earlier. So I like treat holders, and sometimes with treat holders, yes, it's nice to see them. Sometimes it's nice to like have them just to figure out what candy will fit in them or not before you go make them. So I don't keep every one of them, and some of them I've made, like this one here I have is a great little person. You can make it in several sizes, and I do have a couple sizes of it, but it's more just, okay, so this is how the mechanism works, and that's the limitations. Okay, good. Now when I go to make it, I can scale it up or scale it down. Some of the things I just like, this one's really cute. This was meant to be a card, but I found a way to put a piece in it. So it's a card that folds. But if you put this extra piece in it, it becomes like a desk thing where you can put calendars and pens and things in, right? So I have that, right? So what I've come up with is, this is one of my absolute favorites, this little vintage TV. So I have all of these. So this basket is everyday stuff. It's just a bunch of different shapes and sizes of things that'll, and actually, so here's a good example. So here's a tent with a tree, right? And you can pop the top open to reveal the candy. This one's got a bit bashed about, but you get the idea. So every year I do need to kind of go through these. I no longer have these dies that make this tent. So I'm probably not going to be able to make another one of these. So I'm actually going to take it out because I have pictures of it. I have pictures of all of it made and the samples and whatever else. But the actual sample itself to see what fits in it, and I'm not going to be making more of that exact version of it. So if I'm thinking I need camping ones, and I have I go like treat holder tent, and the tent comes up, I can look at it as an idea, but I don't need the physical one. So I kind of have to go through these. The other thing I do is I go through to make sure that if I made a new sample of something, that I didn't put it in here with candy in it, because sometimes I do. And I just don't like it. I just don't like the idea of the candy rotting, or sometimes the candy, if it gets at all wet or the sun melts it or something, because I do have a lot of sun coming in and it melts, it'll get like messy everywhere. I just think candy bugs. I mean, I don't have bugs in my house, but somehow in my brain, that's what it leads me to. So I just don't like candy sitting there. So I bought these baskets at the dollar store, pretty sure Dollarama. And they have Oh, I can't. I don't know if I can flip this. Hey, we're going to try something. Let's see if we flip them all onto the desk. They have, I'll turn this sideways. They have this little tiny ridge on the bottom of this basket. I'll try to get to a corner. Maybe it's more obvious. See there? And it just so happens that that little ridge sits perfectly in the picture shelves that I have for IKEA that are all around my office. So I have 3 little ones here, which is because I did try to set out, they get dusty. That's part of the problem too. So even if you just look at them once in a while, and it kind of knocks some of the dust off things, but I did have them sitting out on little shelves, right? But you can only get so many, and the shelves have like a drop to them. So some of the things you couldn't even see on the shelf. So then I'm trying to prop them up, and I just like, you know what? That's not the best way to see them. And I have many of them. So right now I have 6 of these baskets full of treat holders. And that's not even all of them, because that's only since I decided to start saving them. But every time I'll go and look, and I'll be like, no, those were a pain. I'm not making those again. Or nope, I can't get that candy anymore. I'm not making those anymore. So, you know, I do review them, but I do currently have. So this first basket, and the one that always stays closest to me, is my everyday ones. Next basket in the line is Valentine's, and I'm about to start work on a new one of those. I tried to master one of them last year, and it just kept giving me grief. The engineering just wouldn't work. It kept popping open, but I have a new idea for this year. So that's Valentine treats. So I have some ones that I made previously, plus the new ideas I get. There's a basket for Easter, which also has the St. Patrick's Day ones in it, because those sort of come in March, April-ish, depending on the year. Well, St. Patrick's Day is always March, but I have one basket that has teacher and grad stuff in it. I don't actually have anything specific to babies or weddings, but if I did, I would somehow put them in the June basket, because that seems to always be the month too. I have a fall basket, so there's some turkeys and some like baskets and veggies and more harvesty type stuff, and then a bunch of Halloween stuff, and then I have a basket for Christmas. And the funny thing is, I leave the first one here. So when Valentine's is over, I will take this basket and I will go to the end, and I'll put it on the end, and I'll push all the other ones over. So there's 2 baskets per shelf on 3 shelves. I'll show you when we do the final, but I just push them all over. So next when I go to make Easter's now the closest basket to me. And you know those pencils? I don't know if you when you were a kid, but you get the pencil that you'd take the end out and you'd pop it in, and it would push the other one up. That's kind of my basket system for my treats. So I did go through all of them. I did dump out a whole bunch of candy. There was a bunch of them in there with candy in them. So I dumped out all the candy, and I got them all, made sure that the right things were in the right basket. It's all sorted out, ready to go. I'm going to tackle this afternoon. And I think as I go, I will find more of these like fun fold samples and stuff that I have. I have to clean out the place that I'm going to put them now. Is a drop zone. So I have to clean out the drop zone stuff and make sure it has a home. And then these will have their home. For now that I've got these fitting into 2 nice, easy baskets, little templates to trace, bigger ones, and a box for this. That's only going to take up maybe half of the space that I have there. So I think that's going to be my system for now. And then if it starts to not work, or I start to get too much stuff in there, I will revisit it. As it is, I'm pretty sure that if I take one of these double baskets, or like the bins this size, and I have there's the double wide, I'm pretty sure I have room underneath that desk to stack 2 of them like on top. So I've got room for a lot of fun folds and a lot of like card layout samples if I want to keep the whole sample. Sometimes when you're stuck, sorry, that's the other thing. Sometimes when you're stuck, it's instead of sitting at a computer, because like I said, sometimes I don't even want to turn on the computer, but sometimes even just to sit like this and like flip through the things, and like this card was a lot of work. Oops, I'm not really sure what that is. But even to flip through and just go like this, right? Happy birthday. And go, oh, I love that paper. Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? Like sometimes that's all it takes. Even if I don't make this card, maybe I'm going to make another one. This next card that I can see in line here is one of my favorite layouts. I have, oh no, that's not the right one. I just saw it and I thought I had 2. I was going to say I have 2 of them. This, I don't even know what it is, some kind of a stair step thing. And I have this Christmas birthday. I've used this like fun fold so many times, and it's just a good way to display like a bunch of things when you want to. So sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to flip through the actual samples and go, oh yeah, that's right. See, that's the same thing made into a calendar holder. So sometimes, yeah, it's not the same as looking at a picture. Sometimes you really want to see the bits and pieces to just sort of kickstart your brain and give you an idea what to do. So I'm pretty sure I will always have these, but yeah, 2 of them. I got a lot of that. There's a lot I can put in there before I'm going to run out of space on that system. And then this one, some of them I think I might just like take a picture of the diagram, give it a good label, put it in the thing. But the actual templates that need tracing, I will keep in the little container. And yes, I will put some DSP on the front, because that was the whole idea. I was just going to cut a piece of DSP to size and put it on the front and just tape it down so that it was just nicer to look at. So I will do that. So that is your job for today. Samples and patterns, wherever they come from, whatever form they're in, whether you want to keep physical ones, digital ones, where you want to have scraps. I mean, if you were cleaning out your magazines yesterday and you ripped out a whole bunch of samples and patterns and things you want to keep, well, today's the day you make sure you find a place to put them, because they got to go somewhere. And it's just one of those things that they fall everywhere, right? And there tends to be lots of little pieces, and it's just a gong show. So good luck with your samples and patterns and tutorials and ideas pieces and all those bits and pieces that you have. I hope you have a great weekend. If I don't, I will be back with videos tomorrow and Sunday, or like something Saturday and Sunday. But some of you, I don't know that I think sometimes you guys just take the weekends off. So if you do, have a great weekend. If I see you tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. And happy organizing. Bye.